Thank you, Dr. Victor Olaniyi, for joining us. Dr. Victor Olaniyi is an expert in smart renewable energy microgrid solutions. He had his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Lagos, a master's degree in building services engineering and management from Brunel University in the UK, and also a doctorate in building services engineering and energy efficiency from Heriot-Watt University. Is registered engineer, is a chartered engineer in the UK, and is very zealous about renewable energy. Today, his focus is on the ultimate routine commercial deployment of optimized and intelligent renewable energy solutions to all types of buildings in the tropical climates. And Dr. Victor Olaniyi also happens to be one of our judges in the engineering design competition. Dr. Olaniyi, you're welcome.
Thank you. Now, I'm a very firm believer in value streaming and requirement analysis. You don't solve a problem that you have not defined adequately. And I think that is one of the problems of engineering education in Africa as a whole. To provide this bibliographic overview of the topic, I'm going to start with the data set. So for the point of view of power supply and consumption, I wanted to see the global picture. So I pulled from various sources on the internet, CIA.gov and the rest of them, and World Bank, data on different countries, population, how much power installation they have in the country. And then I tried to normalize that in terms of consumption data. And then I looked up the economy, the GDP, the GNI, and what the UNDP defines as the Human Development Index, the latest of which is HDI for 2019. And this morning, I did a Pareto sort by looking at the energy consumed, energy available, electrical power supply per person in each of the countries. And that's the Pareto you see. Okay, you see the countries there? All right, just keep looking on the left and see where you see a country from Africa. There you see, Libya comes up, right? And then we keep going, South Africa comes up. Now I put this there because this is the average power consumption in the world from those countries. That is the average line. And then I'm still going, I'm looking for Nigeria, I'm looking for Ghana, I'm looking for West African countries, right? And I haven't seen any yet. Okay, now I see Cape Verde. Okay, I see Ghana now. And then eventually, hopefully, I'll get to Nigeria, right? 166, 165th country. Nigeria, at this point, was supplying to each person in Nigeria 120 kilowatt hour of electric power per year. Now, I know some of you have used them, maybe you're not energy efficient, but if you remember the days of 60 watt incandescent bulb for lighting, that will consume, if you have two of those, this energy supply won't power them for the year, even if you just use them for 4 hours a year. So what do you see here? That's Nigeria. And the power installation is so low, it's actually shameful for the giant of Africa. The power supply to each of us is like 50 watts per person, okay? And the consumption, like I said, cannot even power 2 lamps for the year. And what do you see? Economy production capacity is very low. And our Human Development Index is very poor. So it figures. And you can take the data, I mean, which I did, and throw them into some kind of analytical techniques to say, okay, is there a correlation between the productivity in the economy and the power available? Of course, yes, we all know that, right? But you don't have to take my word for it. You can try different algorithms. I use Minitab in this case, and I try to look at the average capacity and all of these, and I try to do the regression analysis and see, you can see it all falls in line. As you get more power available to you, your productivity goes up, your economic power improves. In fact, here it's showing this an exponential thing. Or you get to a threshold and then your productivity really jumps up, right? So I'm not going to, I just want you to know what the challenges are. Nigeria is an underdeveloped economy, and the whole of West Africa is. From the point of view of the actual Human Development Index, and even the comfort level and the welfare of the citizen in West Africa, it is underdeveloped. And you can see, apart from the corruption of political leadership and so on, the professionals have not addressed the needs of the economies that will empower the economy to be creative and to provide all the jobs that we don't have. That's the problem, that's the challenge. So you see the data. But as they say, we are seeing advance, grace advance the more. That means you should have a job, because there are so many things that are crying for fulfillment, that should automatically create opportunities to supply the services. You just look anywhere. And today we're just focused on electrical power. But look anywhere, because of the problem, it means we can create jobs, because we have to meet the needs of society. But if our educational system has not connected the dots for us and empowered us to learn the right, like the chairman said, to be able to bring theory just in time to solve the problem, we will find our graduates to be practically not ready for the challenges of the market. So that's where we are. The next thing I want to talk very quickly about is the question of reliability, because we're coming back to this. The electrical power industry has a bunch of reliability indices. I've picked a number of some of them. One, the popular one is ASI. That's the average service availability index. How much of the time of the year is power available in your location, in your country, and how does that actually correlate to your productivity? So again, I did the same thing, pick some few countries I can find data on. This is interruption, duration of interruption of power supply from the public grid. You can see everybody is talking in minutes, okay, for the year. I'm talking about really, Nigeria, you can't even put number on it. But the best data I can find is that the service availability is like 20.8%. That's the probability of getting service in the country. Now, you don't want to be in that situation. So if you want to come into the energy industry as a young graduate, you have a very bright future ahead of you in terms of the opportunity to provide value-adding services to the economy, and therefore to be creative in finding strategies that will allow you to overcome all the various root causes for the incompetence of the African economy. So that's the point I wanted to make about data. And like I said, this is not hidden data. You can look at it. In fact, I just pulled this up from NERC website this morning. This is the typical data you'll find if you go to the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission. They actually publish how much energy they supply every day, every month from all the power plants and how much is available. I just extracted this like 2 hours ago, okay? And it says the same thing. This is for 2019 to 2020. And the same thing I just told you, you have 139 kilowatt hour of power for each of you in Nigeria at this time. This is straight from NERC. That's what it's showing, okay? So there is an opportunity to massively develop the power industry because it's grossly underdeveloped. Okay, I'm going to stop this and try to now provide the overall overview to, like I said, it's going to be bibliographic in terms of what the team that is going to accept the challenge to provide modern solutions to the power situation in Africa. If you are going to do it well, we are going to have to move towards connecting all the dots so that you can actually help the continent to make progress. So the first thing is you first have to optimize your building with respect to the climate where you are. And a lot of architects have failed us in, all over Africa, and engineers have done this just like engineers have done. You need to first optimize your climatic design of the building, and then you need to look for resiliency. I was talking about the indices for reliability and so on, and that's the reason I went to that. Okay, so here's the panoramic overview that I was talking about of the value proposition. So first, if you want to take part and have a strong value proposition for Nigeria and the rest of West Africa, you are going to have a competent understanding of the interaction of buildings, climate, comfort, and energy. That is critical because you are trying to establish your requirements, your baseline, in a way that makes sense, in a way that is sustainable, and so on. So you are going to understand the criteria for human comfort, because that's most of the energy used in buildings is going through there. And then you're going to understand the importance of passive design and net zero energy building design. There are some good rating systems out there, like the USGB, the Green Building Council, has a lead, what they call a lead building rating scheme. You can rate the efficiency of your building in terms of silver, gold, platinum. I'm hoping you can shoot for gold and platinum in your building. And then you want to look at the impact of the energy availability, adequacy, and reliability on human development, which was the reason I went to the data. And then you're going to focus on end-use methodology. Don't just say, oh, I want air conditioning. No, you want to stay in the comfort zone in your building, in the office, in the home. Staying in the comfort zone does not mean you automatically have to go and install 10 vapor compression machines in your house that is gulping your energy. Okay, so you need to understand end-use methodology. And then you can focus on demand-side energy management strategies by doing profiling and finding the most optimized energy usage that can actually allow you to be productive and not be wasteful. And then you can look at the available renewable energy resources in your own location, and then learn how to optimize the design based on good life cycle economics. Because otherwise you won't be able to sell it, right? It's all about what the people can, the economics of the whole thing. And that will then allow you to see why we want to abandon the old practice of centralized power production and long distance transmission and focus on distributed electric power systems, which is what will lead you to these smart, renewable electric microgrid solutions with reliable and cost-effective energy storage solutions. So that is an encapsulation of all the things you need to connect together if you are going to establish a commercially deployable solution to address the gap in the power supply and the power demand gaps in the whole of the continent, especially in West Africa.